Al Franken, a big comedian, wants to be taken seriously in the United States Senate. He wants us to believe that he's a serious politician who has serious work to do. Well, he made some pretty serious promises during his campaign. He said he was going to do things differently than the Republicans. Why is it then that Senator Al Franken is voting to uphold some of the worst attacks on the constitutions that took place under the Republicans during the era of George W. Bush being president? I'm talking about the bill S-1692 to reauthorize for the second time the Patriot Act, a bill which we were told was going to be temporary. Remember that years ago? Oh, this is going to have a sunset provision, so you don't need to worry about it. It's not going to be renewed. It's just temporary stuff for the emergency, so that all of its clauses for spying against Americans and going into our private lives through digging into commercial databases, taking our library records, our hospital records, our financial records, our telecommunications records, like who we're calling and when, our emails, all kinds of stuff that we're doing on the internet. All that stuff went in through the Patriot Act and through the FISA Amendments Act. But Al Franken's going along with S-1692, a piece of legislation that does not seek to overturn the FISA Amendments Act and seeks to renew the Patriot Act. Furthermore, Al Franken voted this week, on October 1st, against an amendment that would add protections to the Patriot Act. He voted against an amendment that simply would require that if the government is going to go and grab a bunch of private personal records that are protected by privacy agreements, without letting people know about it, going into the personal details of people's lives, that they just have to go along with some basic guarantees. That the government has to guarantee that these records are not being pulled on Americans unless they're suspected of taking part in terrorist plots or plots to engage in foreign surveillance against the government of the United States. Other than that, the amendment merely states that, if you're going to engage in this kind of spying, you've got to make sure that you're going after foreign targets, not Americans. You can have foreign surveillance on foreign countries. Just make sure that it's not related to American citizens, please. That's not too much to ask, is it? Well, Al Franken seems to think that it is. He voted that amendment down. Senator Franken, if you want us to take you seriously, you'd better get serious about protecting our constitutional rights. I don't think you were elected to office, Senator Franken, to uphold the nonsense that went on under George W. Bush. We expect a lot more from you and from your Democratic colleagues in the Senate.